Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, 2 people transported themselves to the hospital after a fight at a local bar. What we know coming up. And the Salvation Army has opened a cooling center while the Crossroads faces extreme heat. Plus, what Bloomington residents are saying about the ideals of incorporating parts of the city incorporation.
And if you thought yesterday it was hot, I think we're going to be a little bit hotter today. Actually, excessive heat warning still in effect for all of us until this evening. And I still have an alert day for today and tomorrow. We'll take a look at just how hot I think it's going to get in the weather.
Cuero football is ready to make another huge playoff run this season. I'll have that coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now, Sunrise. Good morning, I am Amaya Norman.
And I'm Parker Cox. Today is Wednesday, August 21st, and the time is now 6:32 on your wonderful Wednesday morning. And Amaya, we've been talking about it all week. It's hot out there.
It's been hot, 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 hot.
She said it. Hot, 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 hot. And actually, we're going to be add one more hot onto that today because I think we're going to be hotter. So what is that? Hot, 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 hot. Yeah, that's it right there. Well, folks, it's already plenty warm and humid out there, and we're not hot yet, but right now you're looking live here in Victoria. Still plenty humid and, like I said, warm out there right now, sitting at 78 degrees. And your dew point sitting 2 degrees off that temperature, bringing humidity to 93%. So not really high enough to see any fog out there this morning. In fact, actually, I could prove it right here with your visibility map. Nice and clear out there this morning. And why that is because we've got high pressure over top of us, providing a little bit of mixing of dry air above, a little bit closer to the surface, but still plenty humid out there. Otherwise, you can actually see it on the radar beam that's being super refracted to the ground by the water in the air. But it's going to be another very hot and humid day out there, folks. So make sure to please stay hydrated out there. We got excessive heat warnings in effect for all of us until this evening, and that's why we have an alert day issued still for today and now all the way through tomorrow, because temperatures all the way up to 108 possible for some, and heat indices up to 117 degrees. That is absolutely scorching. So make sure to know those warning signs of heat exhaustion. That can lead to heat stroke. But I do have good news for y'all. The good news is high pressure is going to be breaking down as we go to this weekend with rain chances picking up. I'll tell you just how much I think is going to come up and the full forecast coming up next. But for now, back to you, Maya.
2 people are in the hospital following a fight early this morning. Police says a fight took place at Constitution, Power, and George Street. 2 parties were involved in an altercation where one person is suspected to have had a knife. Following the fight, 2 people then transported themselves to an area hospital. The investigation is currently ongoing. The Salvation Army of Victoria cooling station is open. The station at 1302 North Lewis Street opens earlier when temperatures hit 95 degrees. Captain Kenny Jones has some tips for people dealing with the heat.
And I just advise them, and I take that advice myself, to drink lots of water. It's better to drink room temperature water. It's not great. It's not a great idea to take water out of the refrigerator and drink when the temperature is this high. So I recommend lots of fluids, lots of Gatorade, that type of fluid that would definitely keep your salt level proper and in good shape.
Our plan is that we monitor the weather each day, and we let the general public come into the Life Enrichment Center and provide a cooling station for them.
The Salvation Army of Victoria has been average 10 to 12 people coming in per day to get out of the heat. DeWitt County deputies arrested a 40-year-old man, Michael Bras, and charged with the murder of a 57-year-old Kenneth Dixon of Santonio. On September 12, 2021, Dixon's body was found at an RV park in Cure. Bras has been in custody since then. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of $500,000 bond. Bloomington residents are looking to get answers to their questions about the potential incorporation of their community. The big topic lately within the small community of Bloomington is the movement to incorporate portions of the town by a nonprofit. The nonprofit is only identified by a number, 87204 EDC Corp. We've reached out to their attorney and have not heard back. Many residents are confused and have a number of questions about this movement. The draft map for this proposed village of Bloomington is crooked. It did not include many areas of the town. Victoria County Judge Ben Zeeler says county leaders are investigating this, and the county has taken steps forward by hosting a meeting this Thursday night.
Most folks we talk to aren't opposed to Bloomington being incorporated. The questions they're raising are, why is this only a portion of the community and not the whole community? Why has this been done in quiet, behind closed doors, in the shadows, rather than being a public discussion, as these things should be? Who are the interests in the individuals pushing for this?
Judge Zeller encouraged anyone who are interested in the future of Bloomington to attend a town hall this Thursday. It takes place inside St. Patrick's Catholic Church, located past the railroad tracks on Highway 185. Doors open at 6 p.m. Every county commissioner is expected to attend. Representatives from the sheriff's office also plan to attend. Judge Zeller says despite the rather aggressive move to incorporate, the plans did not mention how the newly incorporated area will implement city service like water, fire protection, and police. The move to the incorporated will not make the November ballot since the 13th Court of Appeals determined the petition did not meet the legal requirements. Governor Greg Abbott appointed a Victoria man to the Governor Committee on People with Disability. Billy Blatchard is a vocational rehab counselor for the Texas Workforce Commission. The committee recommends changes in disability policies and programs, supports a network of committees on people with disabilities, issues awards to promote greatness awareness, and promote compliance with disability-related laws. The FAA is requiring the inspecting of all Boeing 787 Dreamliner following an incident in March. The incident occurred when a LATAM airline plane went into a sudden mid-air dive, injuring more than 50 passengers. The FAA says the cause of the dive was apparently related to the uncommon movement of the captain's seat, which caused the autopilot to disconnect. There have been 5 reports of similar issues on board 787. The directive calls for the inspection of captains and first officer seats for missing or cracked rocker switch caps and cracked switch covers assemblies with 30 days. The Israeli military says it recovers the body of 6 hostages from Gaza. The recovery comes as the United States pushed for a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas that would see the release of scores of hostages held by the militant group. The Israel Defense Force says troops recovered the bodies in an overnight operation in southern Gaza. The deceased hostages have been identified. Israeli officials say more than 100 hostages remain held in Gaza, with around a third of them believed to be dead. Now to the deadly rampage in Maine last year, when an Army Reserve killed 18 people at a bowling alley and a bar. A final report by investigation found local law enforcement and Army leader repeatedly missed red flags.
This morning, an independent commission has outlined the missed opportunities it says could have prevented a deadly rampage in Maine.
There were several opportunities that, if taken, might have changed the course of these tragic events.
In October of last year, Army Reservist Robert Card opened fire at a bowling alley in Lewiston and then again at a nearby bar and grill, leaving 18 people dead and more than a dozen wounded. Card later took his own life.
Our concern is that he's either going to hurt himself or someone else.
The report says police officers should have taken steps to use Maine's yellow flag law. Under that law, police can apply for a court order to temporarily seize someone's guns if they are suspected of being a threat. The report also details how people close to Card became concerned by his bizarre and paranoid behavior and called state police to approach him.
I hope you understand that they're concerned enough about your welfare that they called us.
Oh, because they're scared, because I'm going to friggin' do something, because I am capable.
And the report says Card's commanding officer knew of his hallucinations and increasingly aggressive behavior, collection of guns, and ominous comments about his intentions. But the starkest warning came from a fellow reservist 1 month before the shooting, writing in a text message, "I believe he's going to snap and do a mass shooting." Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Maine passed new legislation after the shooting. Just this month, a 3-day waiting period for new gun purchase went into effect. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel Crossroads today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is 6:41. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. We hear from a local Democratic leader about his thoughts on the Democratic National Convention.
The Obamas electrifying the crowd on day 2 of the Democratic National Convention. I'm Jacqueline Lee. We'll have more information about what to expect from day 3.
And it's another day of school. We'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. All that in the full forecast coming up next, but also coming up later on Sunrise. So take another look at your marine forecast and everything else going on out there in the tropics. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live at Cuero near the Wilmot-Hubland 1 up there in Cuero right now, sitting at 77 degrees, but your dew point 6 degrees off from your temperature, sitting at 71. You're a little bit drier because you're a little bit more northward of that boundary, the sea breeze boundary that's actually stalled right now, bringing the humidity to 80% this morning. So y'all are definitely a lot less humid than you usually are in the summertime, but I guess that's not too bad news for us. But some of us, especially south of Highway 59, y'all might see a little bit of dew in your windshield. No fog today, but looking at your future clouds on radar for today, it's going to be a pretty sunny day today. There might be a few passing clouds, especially in the afternoon time, but otherwise lots of sunshine today, and also a 10% chance of rain. And that's only going to be really for our northwestern counties, including Karnes and Gonzales County. And honestly, they need that today because they're going to be as high as 108 degrees possibly for some up there today. So that's going to be after 6 p.m. all the way through 9 p.m. tonight if you do see that rain up there. But today, behind that beaming sunshine, I'm thinking it's going to be about 103 officially here in Victoria, maybe 102 instead. But northwestern counties, like I said, where they might see some rain, we're talking 105 to 108 degrees for air temperatures today. Heated seas, that's going to be as high as 117. So pretty please, I'm begging y'all, please be careful out there in that heat. But if you're seeing your kiddos at the door, it's going to be just like it is right now, sitting at 78 degrees. And as they're heading back home, like I said, I'm thinking 103 here in Victoria. So maybe make sure to pack them an extra water bottle or two to stay out of that heat. But there is a silver lining to the heat. Good news is pollen's going to be nice and low, except for moderate grass pollen. That's not too bad. UV index, that's going to be extreme today. Make sure to be careful with that. But as we go into this weekend, temperatures slowly drop and rain chances pick up. We're going to look at that in the tropics coming up next. Now, here's sports.
And game 1 of the 2024 football season just 10 days away, everyone. But the Cuero Gobblers, they have a lot to change. The Gobblers, they're losing star quarterback Mason Notaro, running back Kenneth Jackson from last season. Now, under center for the Gobblers will be Jackson Marie, who was a defensive back for the Gobblers last season. So you know he's a great athlete, but head coach Jared Feacock says we can do a lot. He can do it all, and he's dynamic and can't wait for the junior quarterback to take over in just a few days.
He can do everything we ask him to do. He can make all the throws. You know, he's good at reading defenses. He's got good speed. I think the kids respect him, and so you know he's had a really good summer and a really good fall camp so far. And so we're just looking forward to getting to play some competitive, other teams other than just the Gobblers. And so looking forward for him to have a big season.
The Gobblers, they went 12-1 last season. And Cuero, they're going to be tested right off the bat in week 1, to say the least. The Gobblers, they come in ranked at number 12, but they welcome the Columbus Cardinals, who are projected to be a top 3 team. And Cuero has a nice early test to start this season. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus. Day 2 of the Democratic National Convention has wrapped, and it was filled with political royalty, celebrities, and a few jokes.
The energy during night 2 of the Democratic Convention was at a fever pitch. A cameo-filled ceremonial roll call of the states transformed into a massive party. Standing among politicians included appearances by a bunch of celebrities, including rapper Lil Jon with a surprise performance.
DNC, turn out for what?
Harrison Walz accepted the ceremonial nomination from a packed rally 80 miles away in Milwaukee, in the same arena where Donald Trump accepted the Republican nomination last month.
We are so honored to be your nominees. I'll see you in 2 days, Chicago.
Taking the stage back in Chicago, Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, telling personal stories of how his wife takes her job as stepmother seriously.
She's always been there for our children, and I know she'll always be there for yours too. Kamala is a joyful warrior.
Then Michelle Obama took the stage to make the case for a Harris presidency.
Kamala Harris is more than ready for this moment. She is one of the most qualified people ever to seek the office of the presidency. And she is one of the most dignified.
While calling out former President Trump.
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Former President Obama closing out the night.
We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
And later tonight, we're going to hear from former President Bill Clinton as well as former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. They will be speaking before VP nominee Tim Walz. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Chicago.
The Democratic National Convention enters its second day after remarks from several Democratic leaders last night. It features an endorsement from President Biden for his vice president, Kamala Harris. Local attorney and Democrat John Griffin said that it could have marked a change of guard in the party.
Transitions can be hard, but they're also sometimes good. And I think there was a sense of gratitude for the stability that President Biden brought the country, but also kind of a recognition that it's time for others to hold the torch. Working together, we're always going to be in a better position than if we're at each other's throats and all of us casting aspersions at people just because of their party label.
Vice presidential nominee Tim Walz will speak at the convention tonight. The time is now 6:49. Still to come, what the World Health Organization is saying about the spread of Mpox. For Sunrise birthday, happy birthday to George. Happy birthday, son. Love mom and dad and all your family.
Oh, happy birthday, George. And Grammy-winning country star Casey Musgraves, with her birthday today. She's turning 36. Happy birthday, Casey.
Happy birthday.
And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
The time now on your morning is 6:50.
That's right. Happy birthday. If you're celebrating with us today, stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. It's going to be another hot day today. In fact, if you thought yesterday was hot, I think we're going to be a little bit hotter today. So make sure to get ready for that heat and stay hydrated today. But looking at yesterday's weather, we got up to 100 degrees, and that was reported out at the airport, which is way out there in the grass along Highway 59, Houston Highway. But that's out there in the grass, away from all the metal and the concrete that's here in the city. So actually, you could add a degree to that because of what's called the urban heat island effect. So we actually got up to about 101.4, 101.5 yesterday afternoon. So about 101, 102 here in Victoria. But like I said, I think it's going to be hotter today. But there is good news. Look at this. Temperature is going to start slowly dropping as we go into this weekend, back to the mid-90s, and even a chance of rain starting to pick up. That's quite nice. We need that after all the heat that we just had. But otherwise, it's going to be another hot day today. Like I said, I think it's going to be hotter today, making it a not so great day to get down to the beach or to the waters. Smooth waves out there. Otherwise, if you do go down there, make sure to bring lots of water. But water temperature is going to be very warm today at 94 degrees, 6 degrees off from a hot tub, if you believe that. Very hot out there. But looking at the rest of the tropics, we do still have post-tropical storm Ernesto still sitting at winds gusts sustained at 70, but that's going towards Great Britain and Ireland over the next few days. But zipping out on the rest of the Atlantic, we do have still 2 more tropical waves out there right now. One just exited the western African coast yesterday, actually a couple days ago. That's right there, but nothing's going to come of that one. I am watching this one though, as it will slowly traverse all the way to the Atlantic and into the Caribbean possibly over the next 2 weeks. And the Climate Prediction Center is watching that as well, and they already have a greater than 60% chance. So we're going to watch that over the next few weeks, and of course we'll take a look at that and more coming up later on Sunrise. Back to you, Maya.
Mpox is not the new COVID. That is what the World Health Organization said Tuesday. WHO's European director said in a press briefing, while more research is needed on the deadlier strain of Mpox, they do know how to control the spread of it. The agency called for a coordinated response to the ongoing outbreak. After the agency declared a global health emergency last week, the strain has since been confirmed in Sweden, the first case outside of Africa, which was contracted on the visit to one of the African nations. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. 17% of you said yes, 83% of you say no. To come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise News to know before you go, the Alabama Supreme Court has ruled on whether or not abortion can remain on their November ballot. The Arizona Supreme Court has rejected an attempt to block a proposed constitutional amendment on abortion from appearing on November ballots. Tuesday ruling comes after abortion rights group Arizona Right Life filed a challenge to the ballot of initiative. The amendment will enshrive the right to an abortion in the state up to fetal viability, which is around 22 to 24 weeks of pregnancy. The abortion rights group argued the public was misled about the broad the amendment will be. As the Democratic National Convention takes place in Chicago, large rallies have been taking place too after a brief scuffle between police and a few protesters last night. More demonstrations are planned for today. Some of the protesters are speaking out against civilians' death in Gaza. Others are showing support for Israel. Video shows police in riot gear getting involved during a pro-Palestinian rally outside the Israeli consulate yesterday. It also shows the vast majority of the protesters heeding law enforcement and remain non-violent. We have time for the final check of the weather with Parker.
Thanks, Amaya. Good morning, folks. If you're tuning in with us this morning, I'm sure you already know what I'm about to say. It's going to be hot, hot, hot out there today. Make sure to stay plenty hydrated and stay cool today. But look at this pretty sunrise coming over Port Lavaca this morning. Y'all right now in the low 80s and still plenty humid out there. Not really expecting any fog out there, but I'm expecting plenty hot temperatures. Like I said, about 99, I'm thinking this afternoon in Port Lavaca. Plenty of sunshine with maybe a few passing clouds out there this afternoon. Otherwise, 103, maybe 102, 103, maybe 104 for a moment in Victoria. And Cuero, 104, maybe 105 for a moment up there. So make sure to please be careful out there in the heat. We do have alert days issued still for today and tomorrow. But good news is, as we go into the weekend and next week, temperatures start to drop and rain chances come right back. Are you excited for that rain, Maya?
I most definitely am.
Oh yeah, we want the rain back and the temperatures down. But
Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Karina and Mac and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.